Hello and welcome to this special MindShareTV Sneak Peek Podcast leading up to the 16th Canadian EdTech AI Summit. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, chair of the summit and founder of MindShare Learning Media. 19 days to go. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by a visionary leader and changemaker in AI for education, Evan St. Lightford, the CEO of Innovate K-12, a leading U.S.-based organization helping school districts harness the power of innovation and now AI to drive smarter decision-making and real-time strategic planning. I look forward to learning more about that. Evan brings a bold perspective on what AI truly means for education, leadership beyond the classroom, from budgeting to community engagement, transforming district-wide improvement models. He'll be joining us on the industry leadership panel on AI going global at the summit. And today we're giving you a sneak peek. Thank you for joining me, Evan St. Lightford.
I'm happy to be here, Robert. Thanks for having me. Can't wait for the summit. We're I'm counting down I'm crossing the days off. I'm so excited.
Right. And you being a Yankees fan, sadly that didn't work out for you. But listen, you'll be able to cheer on the Jays when you come
I
to
absolutely
Toronto.
will. There's a lot to admire about the Jays, so I'm going with Toronto now. What can we do? Toronto, great team.
Well, you lost the bet, so you're getting a Jays pullover. We're getting you a hoodie. That's what you're going to be wearing.
With pride.
Evan, thanks for joining us. Let's begin with your vision. You said AI's biggest opportunity isn't just in the classroom, but in transforming how school districts run. Can you unpack that for us, please?
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. AI's impact on the way kids think, the way kids learn, the way teachers teach, obviously is very, very important. And everyone's spending a lot of intellectual energy on that right now, as well they should. That said, what I think might be flying under the radar a little bit is how school districts can utilize AI in a number of different ways, some of which have not even been entirely leveraged enough yet. That's how new everything is, but to help a district run more efficiently. And so I can tell you that there are efficiencies that districts can just really take advantage of through better second order data analytics now, things that are faster, consolidating things, like you said, Robert, engagement. There's just a lot of opportunities now to help districts run better. And that's really what we're helping districts do as we speak.
And this isn't your first rodeo. You've been at this for a number of years now, ahead of the curve, if you will, because in Canada, we still, some districts are at the innovation stage, not transformation. So you have, your piloting happening. They're just getting going, a lot of districts. And then some are innovating. And then there's the true transformation that we talk about. So we were talking about this 3 years ago. It doesn't happen overnight. And the theme of our summit is very appropriate: empowering human-centered, sustainable learning in an AI-inspired world, because we're still figuring out the sustainability model to implement AI equitably across systems. And you probably have some thoughts about that, I would imagine.
I do. And it's sort of ironic because we get lots of questions about, well, isn't, AI is very controversial, and how do we get communities to actually buy in? And there's lots of questions and fears and all that. We tell people all the time, the irony is that we're using artificial intelligence to gather and harness human intelligence more than ever. So we're really excited about that. We're proud about that in terms of going to all corners of the community and getting all of that intelligence and being able to decipher that at speeds and with depths that school districts haven't seen before. So I think, Robert, I'll say this, that the AI where we started, and we did start a little early, we were very fortunate, was in the engagement piece, community engagement, stakeholder engagement, right. And we're still there. and we're increasing that cadence both for internal stakeholders and external. But the area we're moving into rapidly is in the data sharing and data analytics.
Well, to that point, you referenced in a recent note that most school districts rely on lagging indicators, or what some call autopsy data. How is Innovate K-12 using AI to shift toward a real-time actionable insights?
Well, we're not at real time yet, so I don't want to make, I don't want to overpromise, underdeliver. But here's what I would say, Robert. As you know, I spent 15 years at Scholastic, right? Reading is one of those.
You look a lot younger than you are, my friend. You look a lot younger than you are.
Well, thank you for that, Robert. I appreciate that backhanded compliment. Thank you. But at Scholastic is about literacy. Scholastic is about reading, right? We know that reading is one of those indicators: math, STEM, attendance, teacher attendance. There are a number of them. They're not 87 of them, but there are a number of them. And everyone in education that's run a school or a district, or they understand that a lot of those indicators are based on annual data or summative testing, et cetera, and that we have a lot of these lagging indicators. What schools have told us, I wish we were so brilliant that we figured this out on our own, but we listened to school leadership tell us, hey, we want to be able to course correct, and we need data from, whether it's reading data, it might be about bus delivery times. We need that data. We need short cycle data to be able to make decisions and course correct. And so what we're delivering is a term that I think a lot of people will intrigue a lot of people. We're delivering what I would call formative analytics. It's almost like investigative analytics,
right,
meaning that we're delving into that qualitative piece. And because we're able to do this so efficiently, we're able to find out that why. Why isn't something happening? To what degree is it happening or not? What resources do they need to ameliorate the problem? So it's that sort of thing that we allow both school level and district level leadership now to be consulting more recurring data sets that aren't just annual, but could be quarterly, could be monthly, and eventually be more near term than even that. And that's using AI for sure.
Thank you for that. And you are quite the wordsmith. I love the jargon that you're using for this. I might get you to do some of my branding and taglines in the future with your deep insight and intuition, perhaps. What I admire about you is that, on the serious note, you are demonstrating to me that you're really paying attention and listening, because it is a skill, to the needs of the market. Too many ed techs make presumptions without having fidelity and insight and pedagogical expertise. I've been talking about this for over 25 years. There's that playbook, that misplayed playbook replays itself a lot. And so kudos to you for being laser focused. And so when it comes to strategic planning, budgeting, stakeholder engagement, these are typically slow moving processes. So you factor in AI, and there's an acceleration, agility, and responsiveness opportunity in district leadership if they so choose to embrace it, working with organizations like yourself. Talk to me about this.
Well, what we're finding, again, I mentioned, the sort of converse of, on one hand, we're talking about artificial intelligence, and yet the great irony is that we're using artificial intelligence to drive human intelligence. We want to use generative AI on the community side, not just, we don't want people, because there's an easy predisposition to think that AI is in this black box. And we do get communities often saying, well, how do we know that what you're saying, you're not just manipulating the data? So with AI, I think it's both explicit that we establish trust with the districts, the communities with whom we're utilizing that AI. And I say this all the time, AI is not the end. AI is a means to an end. And I really empathize with districts that are trying to ascertain the contenders from the pretenders. How do we know that a company is safely utilizing AI, that they're taking care of our student identities and student data, and that it's secure, or that they're not just irresponsibly using a version of ChatGPT that doesn't have a lot of input going into it? So there's just a lot of boxes that a district needs to check and actions it needs to execute on to properly vet AI partners and the AI technologies that they want to integrate. But trust, to me, is the most important one.
Thank you for that. As we look ahead to the summit, you're coming
Let's
to
look ahead.
Toronto.
Yes.
What are you most excited about to share with Canadian education leaders about Innovate K-12's AI journey? You've been at this, I've known you for a good 4 years, and you have some deep insight that really can help accelerate our journey into transformation and leveraging AI for good. Could I say that? AI for good. I'm going to create that tagline.
There you go.
AI for good. So talk to me about any early insights, any success stories that you could share that would really capture the imagination of our school district leaders, because it really is about storytelling and use cases, right? We've got some 30 plus use cases through C21 that we've generated that are, real live examples of how AI is being leveraged from leadership down to classroom, down to students creating startups. One student in Peel is going to be pitching in the Dragon's Den Startup Challenge, and he developed early detection Alzheimer's app, and he's presenting in Dubai right now.
That's just fantastic.
Remarkable.
It is remarkable. I'd love to hear that and about things like that. The short answer to your question, Robert, is exemplars. And school districts, as much as we'd like to think that they're so different, I think what we have learned in the last 3 or 4 years is that, of course, demographically, geographically, there's certainly different types of socioeconomics as well, but districts all grapple with some of the same issues. And that's true of the way they utilize their data. And so I think if there are exemplars, so what I would be excited about is working with a district that is willing to be an exemplar for other districts. And that to me is the key,
Right.
Because yes, you have to be ready to scale. And I've said for many, many years, if you can't scale, then why bother? And so I think for Canadian districts, I think there are several forward-thinking Canadian districts out there. Robert, when I've come to the Canadian EdTech Summit, I've met a number of just brilliant, innovative people. You've told me about many, many districts that you either work with in some way or partner with, and so we want to help them and realize that it is somewhat bifurcated in that there is the classroom and instruction part and potential for AI, but that there's a whole realm around efficiency in terms of helping a school district run better, helping a district more effectively engage and synthesize with their stakeholders. Obviously, strategic planning, district improvement is part of that. And I would say that the other thing is also school improvement. For a lot of people, there's metrics at the district level, and there's district level objectives at central office, but often those objectives, those metrics don't transfer down to school improvement, local campus school improvement efforts. So what we aim to do is to create that through line between district level metrics and data points, again, that short cycling data, so that school level leaders can make much more, do course correction and make adjustments that are going to be able to really make a difference, whether that's quarterly, monthly, much faster and more effectively than they ever could before, with lagging data that took them so long to get their heads wrapped around. So we're excited about that. And we're looking for a few good districts. So we're happy to work with the district any way they want to, and to help them solve major issues that they have. It's all about problem solving. It's not about the AI. It's about
Right.
the problems that AI can help a district solve. They become more efficient, save money, save time, and do better by the kids.
Thank you for that. And you've got some success stories, and I'm just sharing your screen, and there's a testimonial from one of the superintendents that you're currently working with. It's about digital transformation. And this movie replays itself. It's just the tools are different, but it is a process. And if you can't skip steps in the process, can you? You need to engage your community stakeholders. That's probably error number one that a lot of districts make. Would you say that they don't involve the stakeholder community, which results in resistance and pushback?
I would just say, yes, that's true. I'm sort of half smiling because I want to give them a little bit of a break, cut them some slack. They haven't had the tools.
Right. Now they have the tools.
I mean, just as an example, it's like I see a best practice, like a summary of a consultancy that worked with the district on strategic planning, and they were very proud to mention that they spoke to 75 to 100 people across the community. And with this district you're looking at, this is Shante Knight, Ms. Shante Knight from Frederick County, 15,000 students in Virginia. We reached 5,000 people. Wow. And within 72 hours, we had an 80 to 100 page robust data analytics driven report to them. And so seeing is believing. And that's why, again, I come back to trust. And so we need to help a district leader be an exemplar, and then they talk to each other. It's not about me trying to convince somebody. It's about letting a colleague tell them about how they're using an innovation or a technology or a partner to really make second order change in their district, right? It's about sharing. It's about professional sharing among leadership colleagues, frankly.
Evan St. Leifer, CEO of Innovate K-12. Love your passion. Thank you for your insights and for helping expand the conversation around AI in education beyond the classroom. We can't wait to welcome you to Canada with your Blue Jays hoodie in hand.
Sign up, everybody. Don't miss it.
And dive deeper into the conversation at the Canadian EdTech International Summit. We have many countries represented, including our friends from the US. And if you haven't had a chance to register, be sure to check out www.mindsharelearning.com. It's October 29th to 30th at the University of Toronto, the home of AI. The pioneer, Dr. Hinton, is a professor emeritus. And my name is Robert Martellacci. Be sure to check out, again, www.com. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.